Hey, it's Oska from the Frontrunner Colombo,
And Tom from the Frontrunner Colombo.
And Anna from the Frontrunner Colombo.
and you are listening to Run Spesh, our weekly running specialty podcast where we talk about the human locomotive movement we call running. And there might be a little bit of a lag today, I think, just ever so slightly,
We
because I'm
are
sitting in a
recording
hotel in.
worldwide.
Yeah, we are recording well. Yeah, sitting in a hotel in West Manhattan, which is really wild considering 56 hours ago I was coming across the finish line of the Christchurch Marathon. But how are you guys?
We're good, man.
Good.
It's been hectic few days, to be fair.
Yeah, it has been.
Monday was madness. Well, mainly, we were just getting all the stock and stuff back into the shop, and then turns out everyone wanted to show up on Monday and spend their $30
Yeah.
voucher as well. So that was fun.
So at least we know that works.
Yeah.
Um,
So that definitely works.
And then we've
yeah.
been super
Oh,
productive too.
Oh,
really? Do
We're
I need?
doing a front runner quiz team
yeah.
next Tuesday night.
Tuesday night front runner quiz because Bailey reckons that
That he's the
his
smartest.
he's the smartest, so we were going to take him on and challenge him to that at the
Yeah.
Papanui Workmen's
I've
Club.
been doing lots of study for that.
Yeah.
So you guys are actually going to go to the Workmen's Club and do a quiz
Quiz night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me, Anna, Chloe,
together.
and Henry.
Henry, yeah, we
Yeah.
got to get that earth sciences knowledge.
Yeah, just in case geography or geology, sorry, shows
Yeah.
up on the quiz board.
And you're gonna take on Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey and his
And his
brothers
brothers.
and someone else, but he also wanted a bet of the loser, and he said
Yes.
2.5 grand,
Yeah, he's
and I was
a
like,
program, but we're
no.
lowering it to $100.
We'll say maybe
Yeah.
$100 for
Yeah.
the loser on the slots to throw on the slots.
Geez, that's a wild bet. Bailey must be feeling pretty good about himself this week.
Yeah, I know, and he scored 50, which is a horrible score.
Of 120.
So I don't know where he's getting this false confidence from,
Yeah.
but
Is that like
loves it,
40%?
loves a
Yeah.
chip. Yeah,
You can't even get a degree for 40%.
nah,
No.
it's not going to pass. Sorry, Buzz.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It'll be quite interesting
Uh,
because I've
uh,
done this quiz before, and it's very hard. Like it's
Yeah.
not an easy quiz. So we found out that I have the flagtism yesterday as well because we were like going over topics, and me and my brother have this knack for knowing countries' flags. So yeah, I got
Is that just
24 out of
absolute sheer
25.
luck?
I got 24 out of 25 on the flags,
I got 17 out of 20.
and I got 17.
So that
And
was a pretty solid effort.
throwing Chloe under the bus, she got 12.
Honestly, that doesn't surprise me, but Uh,
Yeah, so I know countries'
um,
flags.
so should we run this thing back to last week, and I guess let everyone know kind of what went into getting organized for the weekend.
Yeah,
Um, because I think everyone just turned up at the expo and was like, "Oh, this is cool."
yeah. It was a whole
We
process.
Yeah.
so Anna, why don't you talk us through, because you did a lot on Monday and Tuesday or Monday?
Monday and Thursday.
Yeah, so I said you weren't allowed
I
in the
had a
building for
lovely weekend Tuesday, Wednesday.
it was forced rest. I don't think you were so big on it.
No, I did watch like 6 movies. All rom-coms,
Just
of
making sure.
course.
I was just making sure that everyone knows I'm not a horrible boss who made you work 7 days.
Yeah, like there's actually like the front runner power. It's like fueled by people just running on a hamster wheel.
Well,
And it's honestly,
actually, your boy here hasn't had a day off since last Monday, so I've been filling
why?
in, mate. I've just been filling in, and I need to pay off my bike. So
He needs to upgrade his lunch from a half Nutella sandwich and an orange just to the bread bags.
The sad thing about that is your mum still makes your lunch, so come
no,
on.
she doesn't. That's a lie. That is a lie. That is
Okay,
why
so
there is so
it's
little in the lunch bag
When
that I
there's
do it
smoke, there's-
myself.
Okay, anyways, back on track. On Monday, so in the like lead up to last week, we received a whole bunch of stock which we had like got specifically from the brands to sell at the expo. And so yeah, we had stuff from like Hoka, New Balance, Essex. We were supposed to have Saucony, but it didn't
Didn't arrive.
Saucony.
Yeah.
We were supposed to have stuff from Saucony, but it didn't arrive. But luckily, we're going to have lots of new speeds and pros probably turn up
Hopefully this
next week because
Next
it's
week,
like
yeah, true.
Easter weekend. So yeah, mainly it was all about like getting that up online. So had to create all the product, stock take because we were missing a few boxes when you're getting 50 boxes, the posties they don't quite come to the party. But then Oska took all the pictures of those, which he's upgraded his picture system. So go have a look at the website. And then
It's getting there. We've made progress.
it's getting there. Yeah. Thursday went to Mitre 10.
Hmm.
No, just got stuff
Do you know?
together.
I think on Thursday we all went to Mitre 10 for different things at different times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tarpaulin.
Shout out to the new Mitre 10. That's still the road from Frontrunner. We can walk there now. How good. I did go there again on
Is it-
Monday.
There's even a cafe. You can extend your Mitre 10 trip.
Yeah.
Well, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
You could get lost there for a few more hours.
It's funny though because
So I think you. You
wait,
go.
no,
Go.
you go. Oh, I was just gonna say that because it's so new, none of the staff knew where anything was. So when Lynette and I were there, we were like, "Oh, where would we find a tarpaulin?" And then like we asked one guy, and then he asked another guy, who asked another guy, and then it turns out they were like with all the like car stuff.
Yeah.
Which was like, I don't know. I thought
Doesn't
it'd be
make
like
sense, but-
painting or decorating, or garden. But,
Yeah, garden.
yeah.
You would have thought, but
yeah.
That honestly just sounds like that Spider-Man meme.
yeah.
Yeah.
Literally. have big
I
signs
think
of it.
you glossed over. You glossed over it there, Anna. There was like 700 pairs of shoes arrived.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know if people appreciate how much work that is to like ticket off invoices.
Yeah.
We had to have some of it off site because the shop's not big enough, and everyone keeps reminding me the shop's not big enough. And then you had to like create all the products, all the SKUs, get it all entered and ready, and then we come in with the getting it all up online, ready to go. All the content creation.
Yeah.
So much time goes into that, like social decals, stuff going off to the printer, stuff going up online, multiple emails, and then that kind of takes us through to Thursday. No, I don't know how you guys are feeling, but I was feeling pretty organized on Thursday. What do you think?
Thursday, I was feeling optimistic, I think.
I think we're very chill. I mean, we still
Yeah.
managed to fit in 2 podcasts on Thursday as well, so we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I think
It's impressive.
I think that I was being maybe a little bit naive to the fact of all the work that we'd still have to do after getting through all that initial work. So yeah, on Thursday we just kind of tied up the loose ends with stock and started getting everything ready to go on the truck Friday morning, which Bailey drove, and he hasn't driven a manual in a few years. So
Handled it like a champ.
yeah. I did opt to drive with Oska though instead.
He actually did a really good
so
job. Someone who hasn't driven in a long time in a manual, and it was like a big moving truck. So
Yeah.
it was good fun.
Was it like a 45 square meter truck? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a
And
It was
for
a proper
context,
truck.
we had to take 3 trips.
Yeah, we thought maybe we'd
Between
do it in one, but didn't quite make it there.
Yeah,
No,
so
but I
that
think we
was-
had like we had 700 or 800 pairs of shoes, 5 clothing racks, and then everything that goes into this. It's little things like FPOS machines, right? Laptops,
Yeah.
all the like stationery you don't think that you use all the time that's at the till in the shop. And so yeah, what time did we get to the park? Like 12, 30?
just after midday, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Had to do the
I mean, the
health
site
and
was pretty
safety
good.
induction.
Yeah, which I really wanted to answer like a plonker, but I felt like the lady was so nice, I should be good.
So guys, you can't park in the river.
They actually said that.
I did,
Something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
god.
you can't park under the tree line and you can't park in the river. So okay, fair enough. But I did see Elon Musk talking about Teslas for the water, so you never know. Um,
Oof.
maybe we
Crazy.
can.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah.
so then we
So
spent what, like 4.5 hours?
yeah, yeah, we were there and then came back to the shop and still had a little bit more of like the signage and stuff that we had to get sorted. Um, but yeah, so we spent 4.5 hours. So that was like unloading the truck, organizing everything into the brands, pricing everything, and like getting all the tables and like selling stuff and all the clothing racks and yeah, everything all set up, which takes a lot longer than you think it would.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I mean, so there's four of us, so it's nearly 20 hours worth of work.
Yeah,
That's quite a bit.
yeah. Then
Um,
okay,
then what?
it's just
And it just dropped the old then.
that's just like everyone on a
Then
cliffhanger.
yeah, we can start singing the 2.5 Men song if you want. Then.
I was just gonna say that I was like, again, I was very naive on Friday afternoon. I was like, "Yep, sweet.
That'll be fun.
Saturday is gonna be so chill now. Like, got everything sorted." But I don't think I was ready for the carnage.
It was a long day
Yeah,
down there. I mean, you guys were there a little bit earlier than I was, and we had the shakeout run, which was awesome. I think probably about 200 people showed up to that, so that was cool. Um, Perfect day, really. I think it was a precursor for what was to come, which was nice. Um, but yeah, it was madness, eh?
yeah,
Like the line was huge, and
yeah.
I think do we have an official number on how many people raced? There was about 7,000 roughly, yeah,
I think yeah, it was 7,015 was the number that I was given.
which is
That's
awesome.
so good. It was like something like 25% increase on the
Yeah,
previous year.
yeah, which is unreal. And then yeah, just to get all of that foot traffic, and then they bring a mate or so that's not even racing, so it was just a busy time. Um, but
Yeah,
I think it was handled pretty well. Everyone
yeah.
seemed to,
Like we had non-stop foot traffic until like I want to say 2 p.m.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then had Armando with his Precio out front, and he's always good value.
Yeah, so we'd organised. Dave from Garmin was there as well, which is pretty good. He
Yes,
was there
and
Yeah.
Dave, yeah.
He
talking shop.
knows
I tell you what, Dave and what was he? I was going to say
he
Dave,
knows
Dave and
so much
Armando.
about like yeah. They love it, eh?
They they're crazy together. That's two guys that you do not want to let them be in charge of nothing.
Yeah, they've been in the game a
Yeah.
long time.
They just had a good yap, good catch up.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Nice, that was
So I
cool.
think you guys did phenomenally well on Saturday. I only stopped in for like maybe 3.5 hours, and you definitely did not need me. So I'm going to retire.
Expo
And
day.
you guys can just do everything. Um, now I gave you a wee pep talk the night before, Anna, and I think
Yeah,
you guys figured it out well. Like you and Bailey seem
yeah,
to work really well together, and um, I
yeah.
guess and then you had moving parts around you. Tom doing his thing, chatting to people as Tom does, networking.
Networking.
He's the networker.
No too
Uh,
many people were. Just
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
network anything really. Just catching up. Yeah, it was
just catching up with people, but you have to have that. You have to have that, and then some of the young guys come down and give you a hand.
yeah.
Um, Yeah, and then, well, how should we do the next bit?
Should we
Uh,
just run through
run through
the
your morning, I
yeah,
guess. Yeah,
yeah.
and then we can.
yep.
I mean, we were just
Yeah, basically,
support crew.
lots of people bought gels and clothing before the race. We had a few people who had left their shorts at home, so we sold quite a few pairs of shorts there. And a guy did ask me, he was like, "Hey, like I'm racing the marathon today. Like, I haven't used gels before. How many should I take?" And I was like, "It's like, good luck."
Basically.
That's
Uh,
wild, man.
Yeah,
take 5 and see
That's
how you go.
wild.
yeah. So we got there at
Um,
6 a.m. and then yeah, what time did you roll up?
uh, so I did my normal when I left you guys on Saturday. I went to see Wayne, and he just gave my hips a bit of a stretch, um, just to make sure that I wasn't moving too clunky. And then I actually had to go birthday shopping for my daughter because her birthday's while I'm here in New York, so I'm in big trouble. Um, yeah,
She's
and
getting
then yeah,
extra
rolled
this
home.
year.
Yep, she is. I have been shopping today. Trust me. Um, and yeah, I actually got a pretty good sleep, which was surprising. I was down by like 9, and then got up at 4:30. Try and do that 3 hours. Had my breakfast, which is I actually had some rice bubbles and some peaches. It's because, whatever. It's just all calories and coffee. And then Matt, I'd organised with Matt, he was going to be on the bike. So I'd organised to meet him at Victoria Square at about 10 to 7. And so the beauty of having the sign written car and sponsoring the event is I could drive quite close into the course. Um, but I decided to stay away from Hagley Park just because I didn't want every second person asking me how I was feeling. Um, just sort of makes warming up a bit trickier. So yeah, I met him, had a little jog just around Margaret Mayhew, the playground there. He gave me a bit of a pep talk, changed into my shoes, um, jogged down Armour Street, did some stride outs, saw you and Nick Turbo.
Mm.
Um, I was getting pretty locked in. Um, just try and stay calm. And marathons suck no matter how fast you're running them. 42K is 42K. So I was just trying to come to terms with the fact that I was going to be really sore in like 2.5 hours. Um, and I guess like just trying to commit to how hard I was going to try and run. Um, I think we knew, like obviously look at the forecast, you can't control that. We kind of knew that the wind was going to come up, which was a little bit disappointing. Um, it would have been nice if it held off for another hour, but well, I'll get to that, but it definitely came up. And then yeah, got on the start line. Pretty amazing having 7,000 people. I think that's the biggest ever Christchurch marathon. And the only, like Auckland, obviously they split their two races, so you don't get all those people on the start line at once. So their marathon, half marathon have different start times. And then Queenstown and Hawke's Bay are like kind of off road. So really does make Christchurch the biggest, like pure road racing kind of marathon start line, which was pretty cool. I don't know what you guys saw, but there was a pretty amazing buzz.
Yeah,
It was huge, man.
yeah, and the atmosphere, like it was so energetic.
I
Yeah.
think when you have some people like further back in the start line saying it took them like 3 or 5 minutes to get across the actual start line, that just shows how big it is.
Yeah,
Mm.
But yeah, it was actually quite funny because my brother obviously has been out of New Zealand running scene for a while now, and he hasn't really had a whole lot of interest in watching like track or any kind of running since he stepped away from it. And he was buzzing. He's like, holy shit, this is actually like the cool event. Like I actually go and watch this year after year. And I don't think you quite grasp. I was like, dude, it's a huge event. There'll be a lot of people there. And then we were biking down with Tonga, and he kind of was like taken by surprise, like holy shit, there's actually so many people here. I think it's cool. It's what Christchurch not necessarily needs, but it's a huge event for New Zealand, and then especially for the city. I guess Christchurch itself is trying to rebuild sport in some way or events in some way after earthquakes still, and we've got the new stadium coming and all of that stuff. So hopefully we can continue to grow it. And there's definitely ways that will make it maybe some more appealing to some people than others. But yeah,
yeah,
it
and
was a class event.
it's so cool to have it like right in Hagley Park where so many people like that's where they run.
Yeah, you get thousands of people running around Hagley
Yeah.
every day. So
Yeah. So it was awesome to have it all there, and like the central city all being closed off too. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. I think you're right, Tommy. It's like maybe we don't need it, but I think we definitely deserve it.
yeah,
Um, like, and I think New Zealand does too. Like, we deserve to have a legitimately fast. I mean, we could talk about the half marathon after, but to have a
Mm.
legitimately fast road race, Um, I guess the history of the event has always been, for runners, kind of organized by runners.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously they're taking that to another level this year with that sort of mass participation. But it's kind of cool that that's not being lost, like the essence of the athlete. And
Mm.
I think they did a really great job at looking after the elites this year, and that showed out in the depth of the half marathon fields for both men and women. Was pretty amazing. But the start line was buzzing. There was like 6 or 7 people deep for nearly 200 meters when we took off.
Mm.
Um, there was heaps of supporters. It was quite loud. It's pretty hard not to run a three flat off the line.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, and you kind of like, holy hell, it's quite loud. Um, but obviously I'd said that my goal was to try and run 2:15. So, Matt and I decided that we'd have a go and to see kind of where the weather landed. Um, and just kind of happened that Seamus, and I didn't recognize the other dude. I don't know if you recognize him, Tom, that was running in front of me in the red top.
No,
I
I
didn't get
was
a
trying to
chance to
recognize him. Yeah.
um had a little bit of company from some half marathon guys for a wee bit. And that first lap was really nice, felt super calm. I got a little bit of stitch at like 3.5K, which pissed me off. Don't know why. Sometimes shit just happens. Um, Trying to overanalyze it. I didn't do anything different that I'd always do. It's just whatever. So, I might have had one too many gulps of water or mixed my sports drink different. Maybe started that too late. Who knows? Ate too much food the day before. Um, so I missed my first drink and I delayed my first gel, um, just to make sure that I didn't kind of like the stitch didn't get any worse or I didn't kind of want to vomit or whatever. So that did set us back, but that was the beauty of Matt on the bike is I could just say to him, "Oh, I'm just going to wait. What do you reckon?" He'd be like, "Yep, that's fine. Just make sure you take it at the next stop." Um, so we're kind of making decisions on the fly, which is probably pretty wild for people to think that I was having conversations moving at 3:12s or 3:13s or whatever I was moving at. Uh, so that first lap was really nice through 10K in 32:15. So I was bang on, moving well. Didn't feel like I was working too hard or hard at all really, which is kind of probably what you want to feel through 10K of a marathon. But sometimes you do, and that's okay too. Uh, and then coming back around Cramner, we kind of started to hit the traffic, and it hadn't dawned on me like what 7,000 people looked like. I don't know, like it's a weird
It was
thing,
crazy,
right?
man.
Like, yeah.
I was with Alan
I,
Bunce, and he was like, "How are they going to get people out the way?" But for the half guys, they actually did a really good job. I don't know what it was like for you, but they had Gamlin on the front, just yelling, barking orders, basically, just like move to the left,
mm,
move to the left, and they seemed to get out of the way for most of the race until like the last bit through Hagley was a bit chaotic, but
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I think the good thing about the media coverage was that people knew what a group of us were trying to do.
hmm
And I think for the most part, people read that's probably the best thing about some of us having a profile now is people are reading that and they're like, okay, Ozzy's
mm.
coming. Got to get out of the way
Yeah,
in a respectful way rather than,
yeah,
like not
yeah,
knowing what's going on and then they kind of get grumpy when you fly past them or knock into them. Although
yeah.
in saying that, I apologize to the 3 or 4 really big guys that I shoved uh, because they had like headphones on or whatever. And this is later in the race, but I was like, I cannot sidestep anyone else. I'm going to cramp.
Yeah.
So I was just bulldozing through guys, but even Gam was like, "You might not want to do that," and I was like, "I can't do anything else." Like,
Yeah, yeah. If I step
I
one
was
step to my
fucked.
right, I'm cramping everywhere.
Yeah, I'm cramming. So, no, so yeah, I hadn't, and also I hadn't, like probably thought about how loud it was going to be with the people coming back along Kilmore when they realized how fast we were moving,
Mm,
and like most people had read the article, and holy shit, it was loud. Like afterwards, Dom, who did the bike, he was like, "Man, it was crazy. It was like being an All Blacks game.
mm,
Like it was just mental." Um, and like they did a great job of getting people out of the way. And then once I think Andy had finished, the 10K lead biker came and joined the front of our pack, which made a massive difference. So that too was okay. There's a few hairy moments. The grass was slippery. The Adidas do not have any grip. So the little grassy patches were like squeak, 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 and you're kind of walking on ice. Matt and I talked about that beforehand, so he was trying to pick the dry spots of the drink stations to hand me my bottles, um, so I didn't slip on the concrete. And then yes, I was feeling pretty good at 15, 16K. Got back into the park. That was a little chaotic along that west part of Hagley. I don't know if you biked around there, Tom. Did you see?
Yeah. It was nuts.
Yeah, it was crazy. But uh, and that's when I came back along that sort of speed strip back towards the start finish area, heading east. That's where the wind like really picked up
Mm,
in that second lap, which is a bit of a shame. And I think I knew like it was probably going to be difficult to continue to run that fast. Um, like it's one thing trying to run that quick on a perfect day. It's another one to keep trying to run that quick when you get in wind blowing at you. I was through halfway and just under 68, so I was still on to kind of do
mm.
what I kind of wanted to do. And then unfortunately, crammed the square for the third time. Just unlucky. Like there's a couple of spectators up on the road, and that last left-hand turn, I had to dodge a runner who had some headphones on, and then like step, almost like touch step back out of the way because I couldn't go to the right because there was some spectators there, and just tweaked the outside of my left knee. Um, so that's just unlucky. But that kind of meant that from then on, that left hamstring was fucking
Mm.
touch and go. Um, but that's the marathon. You have some bits where you're like going well, and then some bits where you're not. So I lasted 3 more K before I had some hamstring cramp. And I don't know, Bunsey was on the bike. Did he tell you afterwards?
No, I didn't see him
Did he?
actually after the second lap. Yeah.
Nah, so him and Maddie were behind me, gambling to join me by that point, and
Yeah.
just had a bit of cramp, had to stop and have a walk, swore very loudly, um, like took a gel, threw it at someone's car, sorry, the person's car on Kilmore. Was like, fuck's sake, god damn it.
Yeah.
And then Matt sort of said, just pull your head. Like, it's all good.
Yeah.
Just keep
Sometimes
Yeah.
you
going.
need that. Yeah.
I did a little bit. I was
Yeah.
feeling just like, you know, I was disappointed that it was got windy and it got hot.
Yeah.
I was
Mm.
and the time was slipping, and which is fine. Like you can't run to a time.
Mm.
Uh, I'd done a good job of getting all my nutrition back on deck, but I still felt real full and couldn't drink all the bottles, which I think cost me two. I had a cramp fix in my pocket that Matt had picked up from Anna at the Expo on his way, which came in handy at that point. Man, they taste like shit.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Holy, oh, they taste like shit.
Yeah. You just swish it in and spit it out as fast as you can, basically.
Oh, it's nasty. I
Yeah.
swallowed the first one because it caught me
Oh.
by surprise how fast it came out, and I swallowed. I was like, "Oh, that's nasty." And then anyway, yeah. So got around there, and then really that fourth lap for me was like I said to Matt, "How far away is second?" That's how bad it had got. Um, you know,
Yeah.
like when I knew the wind had got that bad, and then it had got hot too. Like the
Yeah.
sun was kind of
Your
relentless.
mental
And
kind of switches to like damage control, right?
Mm.
You're just like, I just need to limit
Yeah.
Yeah.
the damages
And
here.
like when you say the wind was bad, like it was gusting like crazy. So in the expo, it was like nearly blowing clothes off the racks outside, and like it was like picking up all the dust and bringing it all through. Like it was pretty strong.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, it was
Come back
Yeah.
to
not
that.
great.
Yeah.
It was, but I think like you have to like we talked about it. Kind of, you got a door to walk through,
Yeah.
and so you're like, okay, well, I just need to suck it up because that's what's happened. I can't control it, and you
Mm.
still want to like priorities win the race at all costs. Did not want to come second after running that fast for that long. I was like, fuck that, that's not
Yeah.
happening. I didn't know who was behind me actually.
Yeah.
But Matt stayed at that drink station for like 5-6 minutes, and then he biked up alongside me. He's like, no one came, so you've got 2K.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, if I just keep running my 320s, that means someone's gonna have to run three flats, and they're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So keep moving forwards. That last 180 turn on Barbados Street, fuck, that sucked, man. Trying to get my legs going again. I was like, even Matt had to give me a wee like, come on, mate, cadence, buddy,
Yeah.
cadence. Like trying to, I was like, fuck. Um, and then I think that with that fourth lap, it was kind of nice. Like all the half marathons had finished, most of them anyway, the majority. So it was just a bit more like cleaner road. And then once I got back to the park, I was like, okay, well, no one's caught me. They're probably not going to catch me now. I'll just enjoy like, I don't know if I'll run the marathon there again. I'll just
Yeah.
enjoy kind of coming into the park and people enjoying me coming into the park. The amount of yells and screams I was getting from people who were racing themselves was unreal. You could have put a tape deck on me, and I reckon you get 2.25 hours of go Oska. Like it was,
Yeah.
it was unbelievable. Which is special, Like I don't know how many times you get that in your life, right? You go to a big event with 10,000 people, it's probably overseas, and you don't get that. So they don't know
Oh,
who the
mate,
fuck you are. You're just a nobody. So
the whole last, I want to say the whole last K probably, or actually probably the last 500, like when you come out onto the 1K strip where the pond is, and then you run past the toilets, there was people everywhere. Like I want to say there would have been at least 7,000 people just at the finish line. Like it was 4 or 5 people deep each side of the railing. And I was like kind of perched up back on the Hagley Park golf course, but with Henry actually, and Henry T and Nick, and we're like, damn, that looks sick. Like you could kind of vaguely see you running down, but you could hear where you were because the cheers were like louder when you were moving past. So it was pretty funny. And the dude on the mic, he always does a great job. Don't remember his name, but yeah, he was really hyping it up. So it was cool to see. And had some pretty cool words to say, I think, about it yourself and like the group. And then the first thing I hear is you just yelling into the mic like, "Fuck my shit."
I've had so many people talk to me about that.
Yeah, it's so funny. I was
that's
like,
good.
oh yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's
Oscar. He's still loving it.
it's on brand, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is
yeah,
on
100%. Yeah.
It's
So
on
it was
brand. No,
sick to see.
yeah, I would say like running in stat finishing shoot like that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You're right, Tom was like 6 or 7 deep, and you like a close race like in Auckland where Belch and I were going at each other in that last K, and that was exciting. But I guess the thing for that race was I had a bit of time. I could dish out some high fives on both sides.
Yeah.
Kind of soak it in. It felt like, in that moment, you've helped bring all those people together. We as a team, as the front runner, is a integral part of all of those people probably at some point or another. So, coming in there and feeding off that energy is pretty amazing. And then, I mean, Jason should know better than throwing a microphone in front of my face 30 seconds after I cross the finish line. I'm not doing this. I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he said. I didn't like his question. I think I was annoyed at his question, which was like, how tough is it to run a marathon on your own? And I was like, bro,
you're like, I didn't run it on my own. Yeah.
I was not there on my own, but I was like, the whole of Christchurch, I was like, there's 7,000+ people out there running with me.
Yeah.
And then I think I said, how fucking good Christchurch or something like that.
Yeah.
That was the context of the
yelling.
expletion, but
Yeah.
yeah,
It was pretty iconic though.
Yeah, well, it was great.
I hope someone got it on video.
Yeah. If you could, yeah.
Well, the people around me were
you got
just,
it on video,
like, as soon as they heard it, they just started cracking up.
Yeah.
Everyone started laughing like, this guy's a madman. They love it.
But I think, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I made a name for being everyone's hype man, bring the energy.
Yeah.
And I like Jason's question of running a marathon on your own. It just wasn't. I wasn't on my own. No way.
Yeah.
There was no point in that race I felt on my own.
Yeah.
Maybe in the first 2K when we were settling into where we were going to be, but no, it was there was no way. So no, it was cool to be the first person to win every distance twice.
Yeah.
That means
That's
I'm getting
awesome.
old.
Yep.
That means I'm doing it way too long.
Yeah.
I thought as a team, I don't know how. I do know how because Anna's really organised. But how we managed to get me to a start line because I feel like getting me to the start line was a team effort in terms of the pressure that was taken off by you guys, and then Bailey, probably you two and Bailey in particular. Um, Friday, Saturday, doing your thing, meant that I could have a run. So, and then we got to have the that kind of special moment. I did get drug tested, so that was fun.
Takes the
Uh,
specialness out of it.
oh, watching a guy named Don as take a piss, that's pretty, whatever. It's
Pretty low.
cool.
Was it in the Portaloo?
He was in it. Yeah, I was in a
Yeah.
massive big like
Yeah.
disabled Portaloo.
Yeah.
Had the old tights on, so tights around your knees.
Stage fright. No.
So, what I will say, and the guys listening will understand, after you run that hard, it's real hard to piss straight. Uh,
It's hard to piss, like in
yes.
general.
Henry coached his race in Asia when it was like super hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people don't piss for like 3-4 hours after the race. They'll
was
stay in the drug test.
11:30. No,
It would have been a few hours. You kind of just have to
Yeah,
meander around and wait till you feel like you need to go, and you can't drink a shitload of water either because they're like, oh no, dilute it too much. Right.
I'd also want to give a big shout out to Max and Tom, who were second and third, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's Max's debut, right?
Yeah.
225 on debut.
Yeah.
And like a 4-lapper in those conditions, that's really good.
Yeah.
I felt like I ran 217, maybe quicker. But so for him to run there, I thought that was phenomenal. I think Tom might have got a PB too.
Yeah.
Maybe 227 or something. Am I right?
Yeah.
226 high.
I think Christchurch definitely solidified itself as the fastest course in New Zealand, which is cool.
And we had Maya win the 10K.
They smoked it.
Yeah.
And then Pip run an hour 35.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And make the newspaper with her mum as well.
Yeah. Mother-daughter duo.
Yeah.
Yeah. They wanted to put on our work chat mother-daughter queens or something, race queens, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So mine took out 10, which is cool.
The half was super quick.
Yeah, I think the half, I don't know what they were saying, and I don't know how true it is, but there was 10 people under 65, under 65 or under 66? I can't remember.
66.
Yeah, under 66, sorry. Which is insane.
Yeah.
For a race in New Zealand. Like that, I don't think that's ever happened before, one. And then to have this spread as well, like Toby and Tonga absolutely ripping chunks out of each other at the front and running 63 mid was unreal to watch. And then Jules having a Jules day again, like he kind of was he's like just mentally said he slacked off a bit when T put the hammer down and probably felt that he missed that window, which is racing unfortunately, but managed to pull it back and have a good battle with Chris. And then Cam Gray is finally, like, I shouldn't say finally, like he's been a talent for years but just hasn't really been able to keep his body in one piece, and he had an awesome run too. So I think credit to everyone in that top 10 and beyond, because it showed a lot of people that you can run quick in New Zealand. When you get guys that are runners setting up the course and and getting some nice weather and getting everyone, like the organisers, getting everyone to the start line, like making it a worthwhile event to come down to was cool. So the World Champs qualifying time was 65, so there was about 6 or 7 people under that, which was awesome, because often we don't really fill spots. Like in any distance running event, it's been a challenge for New Zealand to fill up their quota. So that's awesome to see. I think it's a good precursor for what's to come in cross season. It's back again at Hagley Park, so yeah, they all loved it. So they'll probably be back again and hopefully go a little bit quicker.
I didn't get to see much of it. I did see them absolutely ripping back along Kilmore when I was kind of coming. They were
Yeah.
flying, right?
Yeah, so pretty
Um,
much T actually made they went through 10K, I think just behind Andy. It might have been like 30-10 or something. Um, and then T's like, yeah, I just feel really good. So he started like pushing a little bit at 11K, which is a ballsy place to push. You're just over halfway. He's like, okay, well, this is my second ever half marathon. I'm just going to start pushing and see what happens. Um, but he said he really started to press at around 13K, and Toby was the only one that went with him, and they pretty much ran side by side up until Little Palms, where the turnaround was, basically. Then when we saw them coming back, um, close to Carlton Corner, Toby had put like a little gap on T, and by that time they were about 100, 150 meters clear of third and fourth. So it was 1 and 2 for those guys, but barring a blow up. And T was just, yeah, like it was crazy to watch because you could see that T hadn't given up. Toby hadn't given up either. They were both like just moving at the same speed, but they were keeping the gap. Like it wasn't going anywhere, but it wasn't getting any closer. Um, and then I think T realized a little bit late in the piece that Toby was holding on, like the last 2K, I want to say. I don't mean I can't speak for him, but it looked like the legs were empty and he was just, trying to stay upright. He definitely took a few like stutter steps around people, and um, T was the same, but T looked like he had a little bit more juice left. Uh, and closed up the gap a little bit going into the last 500 meters, but then I think just all the people in the way made it really hard to actually make a proper kick into the finish because you were just trying to zigzag, and by then the bikers had gone. So yeah, I think overall they were both. I mean, everyone in that top bunch was stoked with the performance and how they felt for the majority of the race. And it would have been cool to. I think it would have been cool to see. It's hard to do in a big race like that, but there was a lot of from the people that I talked to. There was a lot of personal bests in that half marathon because it was flat fast and it stayed calm basically the whole race. Like they didn't have a breath of wind from start to finish, and it was perfect temperature. Like all the things turned out really well. So yeah, I think overall that was a huge step forward for a lot of people, which was cool to see.
and uh, and then we had uh, Anika Grogan
Yeah,
beat Bridge
yeah, yeah,
in the women's half marathon. Is that? I don't want to sound disrespectful, but we probably didn't think that would happen, did we?
yeah. I don't know.
Or
From what I could gather, Bridge is kind of just in a mileage block, similar to like had come off track season and was just doing mileage. I think she's got a marathon coming up, so. From what I gathered, it was more of a training effort for her. Um, but also, like you go into a race, you want to win. You're not going to just give up first
Mm,
place if you can't attain it. But I mean, they trained together, so they would have known where each other were, like where they were in training and like progression. So I guess they would have known better than us who was firing on all cylinders. But yeah, still a really close battle. I think they ran 74 maybe or 73 something.
yeah, so Grogan ran an hour 14:59 or
Yeah,
57 net time.
yeah,
And then Bridge had run an hour 15:52, and then Arlie Tippins ran an hour 17. So
yeah,
you had 8 women break 80 minutes.
yeah.
That's
Which
that's
again
bloody
is
good.
crazy. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And so yeah, as you wind it down, I mean that's amazing. I'm just trying to see where Pip ended up. Where did Pip end up? No, I've scrolled too far. I won't do it to. Um, and then in the women's marathon, uh, that kind of looked like it was shaping up to be a good race because Ingrid got dropped um, quite early on, and she had to come back and fight her way back in. So that makes it 2 years, two for two for her as well. She won last year, so and again, like 2 hours 46 that's no joke because
Yeah.
they got pretty tough out there after an hour and a half
Yeah.
when the wind came up. Like that's a hell of a death march. And then Coach Goody won the men's 10K, and he was through the 10K timer under 30. So
He's looking in because
remember,
he's racing Ballarat in a couple of weeks. So he's shaping up to be in pretty good form for that.
I'd say so. I think that I know. I mean, it's hard to know.
Yeah.
Like we've just talked about, so many things happen in the marathon, but certainly if everything lines up, he's definitely on with something special. Yeah. So unreal event. Amazing to be a part of again at a personal level and at a I guess a business level or a shop level or whatever. I had to turn my phone off, so if anyone's listening who sent me a message and I haven't replied, I'm sorry. I had nearly 600 notifications.
It's a lot.
So I did not. I'm sorry, I did not get back to everybody because I got on a plane 24 hours later.
Yeah, it was a hectic 24 hours.
It was
Did
pretty
you have
crazy.
to get
But
wheeled
why
off
did you go?
Did you have to get wheeled off the plane?
No. There's one thing I want to ask Anna first, and Tom, because
Yeah.
you were there as well. So we'd all fucked off, and then you poor bastards had to pack down the expo.
Yeah, we did.
Talk us through that because we did that last year, and honestly, that sucked.
So the truck made a huge difference. So because last year, for context, we just had like a minivan. So we had to take so many trips back. But the main thing was that we weren't allowed to like get the truck into the finishing area until 1:30. But honestly, like it had like from about 12 onwards, we had no one come in. So Bailey bang on like 1:30, maybe a couple minutes before Bailey went and got the truck, and then we brought it in, and we did get in a little bit of trouble with the health and safety team, but that's okay.
Technically, we did nothing wrong because we got told 1:30, but the person who told us 1:30, the organizer of the whole show down there, hadn't told the security guards 1:30.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What are you doing?" And we were just, well, it's 1:30. We're allowed to bring this in. She's like, "No, you're not." We're just like, oh yeah, we got told 1:30. So she made a very, well, I don't know, assertive point to tell us to leave our hazards on, but thought it was kind of unnecessarily when we were like the only people in the park still. And you know, it was a parked truck that wasn't moving, but you know, health and safety. Anyways.
So then we just had to pack everything up, and it went a lot quicker than last year.
Yeah, I think we got packed up quite quickly.
Yeah.
We did have to take 2 trips.
Yeah, we took 2 trips because we ran out of boxes.
Yeah.
So had to.
We ran out of boxes.
I know. Well, it's because we didn't have all of the stuff in boxes to start off with.
We had a bunch of stuff and just in the shoes.
And then it was a bit damp, so a few of the boxes were like
Munted.
Yeah. But then, so it was just like putting everything into boxes, packing down the tent, the tarpaulin. Well, we didn't pack down the tent really, but taking out everything.
Yeah. Apologies to the people that were in the store when we were dropping stuff off as well, because we just had like a conveyor belt of people like walking in big boxes. It was a little bit obnoxious, but I think we just they understood. We were moving stuff back and forth.
But yeah, so I left the park, so I didn't come back to the shop the second time. I started my day at 6 a.m. on Sunday, and I left at about 3:30. I texted Oska and said, all done at the park.
I'm out.
And then
leave me alone.
Yeah. Turn my phone off.
And then, yeah, I think you guys finish up 4:30 here.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
Roughly, and then had to we had to drive the truck back, but we had to find Bailey's car because Bailey parked in the morning. And then I biked down, so I just threw my bike in the back of the truck, went and jumped in Bailey's car, followed him back to his house, and then I biked home. So it's just like it was a long
thing,
day.
yeah.
Everyone else was out at like the church having drinks and
Yeah.
catch up. I got home, I was just like, no, I
Yeah,
can't
like,
do that.
once
I'm
I-
so tired.
So because I took a like a Lime scooter
Yeah.
to the Expo in the morning, and then I walked back, and I got back to the house, and I literally just hopped into bed and just stayed there for like.
I sat down to
2
watch
hours.
watch the second half of the Warriors, I think it
Yeah.
was, and they paid like dog shit, so that wasn't even worth it.
Yeah, I just watched Instagram reels, brain rot.
Bit of brain rot.
Yeah, gotta happen.
Doom scroll.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think to put that into context, the Friday, the Saturday, and the Sunday, we had 2 locations. On the Friday, we had 11 staff. On the Saturday, we had 14 staff, and then Sunday we had 12. And
2
somehow
stores,
we
2
managed
online
to,
stores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
2 different
Um,
online stores.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's 2 things there. One, I think the team as a whole, phenomenal effort. And then the second thing is, I got asked this I think it might have been for the interview for the press, and they were like, "Oh, how does it feel to sponsor the event?" And I was like, "Well, like we sponsor it in a way, but it's the community support that allows us to sponsor it. Like we just kind of the
yeah.
money
It's
just
like
goes through us back."
it's a circular running economy.
Yep. Yeah. So it was like, it's like, yes, I sign on the dotted line and pay the money, but if the community doesn't believe in us talking shit for an hour every week or whatever, if the community doesn't believe in the products that we buy and the way we like to sell them and the community that we have and built and stuff, then like we can't do that, and we can't have 14 of us working on a Saturday in 2 locations with 2 online stores. So
Yeah.
pretty wild. I mean, it was good practice because we're about to have 2 stores. That's like 4 weeks away, just FYI. Uh,
Yeah.
5 weeks
Oh
away.
my god.
There's some big changes coming. There's some
Yeah.
big changes coming. But we'll talk about it later. So no, it's just I guess I got a lot of gratitude for like us and all you guys, but also the community around us that I was sitting on the plane reflecting. Um, it took half the flight for the lady sitting next to me to be like, "You won yesterday, eh?" She'd obviously been working up the courage to working up the courage to talk to me. It wasn't until we got given our breakfast where she was like, "Can I ask you a question?" I was like, "Yeah, that's right." But she was running Boston, so
Oh,
that
that's
was cool.
cool.
Had a good yarn with her.
Yep.
But I was just sitting on the plane, just reflecting at like how far we'd come from the first expo when we happened in the Colombo. Tom and I were wheeling shoes on a fucking
Yeah.
thing.
That was hectic.
The
It was, you see,
we
it
had
was
all the
before
boys
my
running
time,
different.
so-
Yeah.
I was like, we had all the boys running the stores because no one had any staff.
Yeah.
Like Connor and Russ
Russell
were
and
running the
Con
CL
were running
stuff.
CL, and like there was I think it was
It took
Tessa from Pure, that was it.
yes,
Someone else was
um,
on Will
uh,
Stan, and yeah, it was crazy.
it's just mental. And then Armando took 4 days to set up because that was the first time he'd ever done anything like that.
Yeah.
And the event only had 2,500, 3,000 people. So I was having
Yeah.
one of those moments where you're like, man, it's pretty cool how far the events come, how far we've come from I guess a business organizational point of view. And yes, and a lot of that is to do with you and me getting the
I was
fuck out,
just joking.
me getting the fuck out the way. Tom and I don't do that stuff. We just talk shoes.
We just
can't
talk.
do it.
Yeah.
We just talk.
And I
So
also think
yeah,
it's
it's pretty amazing.
I also think it's testament to how far like the running community has kind of developed in Christchurch too, over the last few years. Like it's
Yeah. It's huge.
become quite a big thing in Christchurch, and I think that yeah, it's really cool.
Honestly,
See where it
one of
goes.
my thoughts was like, we're gonna outgrow this event. Like genuinely, I feel like we might have outgrown the infrastructure that
Yeah.
Well,
is around the event.
well, it's funny you say that because there's going to be some big announcements, which
Yeah.
I cannot talk about.
Yeah.
But let's just say there is a committee um, of six of us, seven of us, that are going to get in a room and figure out the infrastructure, and that's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Big
I
things
can
But
coming.
definitely plan out a nicer course that would accommodate for a lot of people. So hopefully that's in the works.
I think one thing that Chris and Callum and John and the guys, they are not going to rest on 7,000. They want 10.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, and the pathway to 10 is the infrastructure,
Yeah.
like anything. Um, so I think I'm excited for them to see, and for us, we're kind of along the ride now,
Yeah.
to see kind of where that lands. But yeah, that was a crazy 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it was awesome.
It was.
Just
Um,
yeah, being
and
amongst it all down at the park. Yeah, even though I wasn't racing, I think that it was just like there were so many people there who, if they were hanging around and they hadn't raced, they were like, oh, I'm so doing this next year. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think just the community feel around it was awesome.
um, so yeah, and then I got on a plane and here I am. Um,
Tell us, man, what's the
my
experience of America? The
well,
first impressions.
well, fuck. The first thing I'll say is do not fly 24 hours after running a marathon.
Yeah.
Um,
Your body will hate you.
bro, fuck. Honestly, man, I thought I was dying. And that's not even an exaggeration. My nose has only just stopped bleeding. So if there's any
Mm.
doctors listening, I guess that's
Send
my body
help.
like,
No.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe. It didn't bleed. It
SOS.
didn't bleed on the plane. Um, well, you'll know, Tom. When you get here, it's pretty wild because everyone just yells at everyone. They're not quite as diplomatic as we are. Um,
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy. Uh,
Airport
we kind of
people
got
in
off the
America are
plane.
very highly strung.
I know, like when I went,
Nice.
I was like, they're like, "Do you have a visa?" And I was like, "Yes."
So
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you just
we've been
felt
on this
like you're
plane
doing
for
something wrong.
all the time. So we've been on this plane for like 15 hours, and obviously I hadn't showered, and I was all
Feel
sweaty.
greasy
And
as.
then you have to do
Yeah.
the fingerprints and stuff. So I can't do anything about it. And she's getting madder and madder. I'm like, well, like, what do you got, some fucking sawdust or something? Because like it's been a long day. And she's like, where are you staying? I'm like, I think it's called Midtown something and somewhere. And she's like, okay. And she's like, you got any food? I'm like, nah, just snacks. And then she's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, running shoes. By the time she
Running
gets to
shit.
like by the time she gets to a third or fourth question, you're like, fuck, they're going to put me in a room. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
going to be like the movies. Uh, so that line took 4 hours.
yeah,
Yeah.
The customs line took 4 hours. It's pretty wild. And then when I got out of the airport, obviously a sting or something was happening because there's like 8 cop cars, and not the little cop cars, like the big motherfucking SUVs with their
Mm.
sirens on, telling everyone that's safe. And you're like, bro, it's not safe because if it was safe, they wouldn't be seeing you motherfuckers here.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah,
What's
and I was
going
like,
on?
oh, I might ring Katie. Yeah, you're like, no. So fortunately, my Uber driver was real nice. And he had to do a couple times around the thing to pick me up because the cops wouldn't let him stop. Which is wild. Like that's your first. You've just been on a plane for however long, and then it's like,
yeah,
okay, I'm gonna die,
I'm in
like
America.
in the
yeah.
airport. Yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome to
uh,
America.
and then the first hotel I got to, I got absolutely catfished in the photos. Unbelievably catfished.
Yeah.
um, uh, so I just slept there. I paid. I was like, they was not non-refundable. So I paid for 5 nights and I slept there one night. And it was above, because like cannabis is legal, right? So there's
Yeah.
cannabis shops everywhere.
Yeah.
It was above a cannabis shop, and I was like, I can't sleep here. Like I'm gonna wake up high.
Yeah.
Uh, so I very politely checked myself out after I'd had 8 hours sleep and booked somewhere a little nicer.
Yeah. Nice.
So here I am. And uh, I guess it's, or as you both know, there's just a lot of people, and I feel like New York is just probably the craziest of the crazy. I don't know, you know more than me, Tom. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Amsterdam was crazy, but fuck,
New
this is
York's on
something else.
steroids.
Yeah. Have you gone on the
Yeah.
subway?
Like I went down there and then I was
Yeah.
like, nah,
Nah. Yeah.
I'll just walk.
nah, I'll just walk.
Yeah.
Well, the walking time and the subway times aren't too dissimilar, to be honest.
Mm.
Um, during the day anyway, so I was like, oh, I'm not running at the moment, so I might as well get some exercise. Times Square's pretty cool, obviously. Empire State Building. I was like, oh yeah, that's a big building, cool.
Mm.
Um,
Have you seen
uh,
Statue of Liberty?
no, I'm gonna run along the Hudson River.
Oh,
Hopefully
nice.
tomorrow I'll run down. I'll run all the way down, and do that. There's like a little loop you can do, I think. So I'll do that. I saw Emma from Bandit today. Had a really nice catch up with her in a cafe, just on the other side of Central Park, and so we're gonna have their stuff probably for July. Um,
Awesome.
it's just nice to meet in person. She appreciated the effort.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got a bit of a thing worked out. Obviously, the old tariffs at the moment are the talk of America. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah.
need to talk about that, but
Makes things difficult.
Yeah.
it does. No, but the first day I was like, "Holy shit, this place is wild!" And then I guess you just settle into the groove of everything, and
Yeah.
it's kind of now it's
So-
just normal. We just haven't looked. Yeah, you go, Tom.
No, I was just saying it is literally the city that doesn't sleep.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Just hustle and bustle like
It's
24/7. It's a crazy experience for sure.
I, I feel like there seems to be more flow than some of the bigger European cities I've been in.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because of the way it's all gridded and the one-way streets and like I
Yeah.
guess it has to be because there's whatever 10 million people and
Yeah.
the size of the four abs in Christchurch or something, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense when you're there,
Yeah.
like, and if everyone's just doing what they do, right? So they're all just, there's no stop and yarn to people really, which I find, that's what I found real different. Like everyone here, it's like, you can get, like I was in the weekend just talking to people. You see so many people you know, but it's just like, you could walk straight past your best mate in New York and it's just like, nah, it's normal. Like you got to get to work, got to get to doing stuff. So yeah, it is pretty crazy. It'll be nice. Boston will be a little bit quieter, so it'll be nice to get out of there for a little bit.
Yeah. No, so like I wandered around the Puma store, their flagship.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You can customize anything
That's crazy. It's
on
crazy.
the
Yeah.
spot.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so cool. I got some photos and
So-
stuff of the guy doing it for someone else.
When you customize it, like, what do you mean, like
Colors and
colors?
Oh, I
you
could-
use?
Yeah,
shoes
so
and-
I could grab a pair of shoes,
Yeah.
and they could embroider my name on them if I
Oh,
wanted,
that's cool.
or
Yeah.
anything.
yeah.
And then they had a screen print, so you could basically pick kind of whatever you wanted. Like they had designs from their collabs, like all their sort of celebrity collabs, and you could get that print on any color you wanted. It's pretty wild. Where else did I go? The Adidas flagship. That was so cool. They merchandise real nice, eh?
Mm-hmm.
It's not as flashy as Nike. Like Nike's
Yeah.
like massive big videos and TVs and but I felt like the Adidas shop was really clean. Looked sick. And then I found an Oscar the Grouch t-shirt. So I was like,
Fitting. No.
I'll buy that.
I'll buy that. And a
We
SpongeBob
know Oscar's in a
SquarePants,
bad mood. We wear
which-
that to work.
Yeah, yeah.
That can be the sign.
yeah, we
Don't talk to him. Yeah.
don't talk to me. No, so yeah, it's pretty cool. And then yeah, so tomorrow's just I got a chill day. I'm going to try and have a run. Might even try and book him for a sports massage now. I think someone will be able to touch me. So they couldn't do that for the last 3 days, 4 days. And then yeah, I'm on the train into Boston on Friday at 12, and then I'll meet the Puma guys, and we're booked into a Celtics game. Or I think they're trying to get booked into a Celtics game on Sunday.
Sick.
That's awesome.
They asked if we wanted to go to the baseball, but I can't think of nothing worse.
Nah.
I don't even know how to play baseball, like how it works.
I,
Baseball's cool, but basketball would be like
Way
you
more
like
than-
basketball,
Yeah.
so it'll be way more
yeah.
fun. Yeah.
And then start the run summit stuff on the Sunday. Get to watch the race on Monday, and that we've got like VIP at the start at the finish line.
That was sick.
That's cool.
Right in there.
So you have some good
Get to be
content for
involved.
us next week.
You know, I feel like I'm really good at Adobe. My video skills are shit, I say. Uh, I keep thinking I'm taking real good vids, and then I look back when I get back to the thing, I'm like, that is so
Be like,
shit.
yeah.
You just do a blog, man. Just do a vlog.
Hey,
Just
guys.
right. I'll just
Record
write.
yourself.
Yeah, I'll just write. Yeah. No, so yeah, so it'll be cool. But we can catch up on that next week if I get a chance in between all the stuff going
Yeah.
on. Yep.
Oh, that's sick, man.
So
Cool.
no shoes today.
No.
Nah, no new shoes, unfortunately.
Oh, the Clifton 10 gets released today, though.
Yeah.
So you can buy that online now. There's a cool video on the website, and you just click shop now.
Yeah. It's a really nice shoe too as
And
well.
you-
Like I've been quite enjoying it.
Yeah, me too. I've put like a few runs on my PA, and I quite enjoy them.
A lot softer and bends more in the front, which
Yeah.
is nice.
Yeah, so you feel like that's the main differences because obviously we've talked about it like at a
Yeah.
tech level, but what about a feel level?
Like the ride, I feel it just feels like how I want a Clifton to feel. Like the 9 kind of, you have to run how the shoe wants you to run, whereas the 10 you can still run how your body wants to move, but it's just with the higher pitch, you still get the roll. But it's much less aggressive because it's softer in the front and you can still bend like through the midfoot. And then the up is quite interesting. I never go up in my shoes to the top eyelet, but the way it's shaped, I don't know if you noticed it, it's
no,
like
you
more of
do.
a boot.
I had to do like lace lock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had to go up to the top eyelet. But when you go up to the top eyelet, it actually feels really secure through the
Yeah.
front of
Yeah.
your foot.
I found the same thing.
Which was just a different thing that I noticed. But yeah, like overall, the ride's really smooth and the grip's obviously always been really good. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good update, and it'll be nice to. I was just saying to Anna before, I hope the Arahi is kind of a similar feel, but just with the stability aspect of it. I don't feel unstable in the Clifton, but definitely if you're like a heavy pronator or you do have some sort of movements, then because it is soft, it will probably exacerbate that a little bit.
I felt like Anna that the Arahi was almost even more comfortable than Clifton 10.
I think that the Arahi
Yeah.
will be like kind of because where the Arahi is currently, it's not really one that I
Should be
gravitate.
at Mitre 10.
Yeah, yeah, it's like it's quite stiff.
Oh, it's a block.
It's a block, and so I don't really feel myself. Like if someone needs mild stability from Hoka, you kind of end up putting them in a Clifton anyway. Like it works for most people, but I feel like the Arahi, with the way that it's looking, so they've got some good updates coming, like with the foam and like the way they do the stability too. I think that more will take some of the customer base away from the Clifton, which had been like kind of their main shoe.
Yeah, I think I haven't seen it like Goose, but from what I can gather, it will kind of lean itself more into the Tempest kind of area.
So they're going to the H frame,
So
like
they'll
the
be
Tempest.
a bit more compatible,
Yep.
which would be nice. Instead of having just like the one option in that like just simple stable shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll
Nice.
be good. But yeah, man, it's been it's a pretty standard week, honestly.
Yeah.
Like nothing crazy's going on. I think there was a good vibes yesterday in the shop. Like everyone kind of felt like the pressure had just released
Yeah.
after the marathon. So
Yeah. Kind of had got through everything, just could
customers
have a
were good,
breather.
so, yeah.
Yep.
No, it's been chilling, but the weather's been dog shit. So it's definitely winter is arriving, which sucks. But
It is.
yeah.
An autumn grind. So
Oh yeah.
people should sign up to that. And you do that by going onto the website and searching autumn grind.
Yeah, looking like some good numbers so far.
Yeah, we already had a few people ask for their hoodies. I was like, they're getting made right now.
Yeah.
They're not actually here yet. Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
But it says that in the sign up. So
Yeah.
I'll explain it. So the whole thing is you sign up, and then through May you do your self-selected challenge. It's 100K, 150K, 200K, 300K, whatever it
Mm.
is. Um, and then at the end of May, we have what we call our grind party, where we all get together in the shop, and then you get your medal, which I don't know if I've seen a picture. Anna, you might have seen it in the emails.
I
The
haven't looked at it yet, but I
all right,
saw
so
the email
no,
come through. Yeah.
oh yeah, so I don't know if you've seen a picture of the actual medal because he hasn't got it made, but he had another one that he made for someone, and because it's gemstone season, it looks like the snow globes. That when you shake it, snow comes out.
Yeah.
So this medal has gemstone like dust.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
as sick.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then obviously the crew neck with the embroidered Run Club, um, which I think is going to look pretty classy.
Mm.
Uh, and a certificate and stuff, and then we'll have our usual um, longest grinder or whatever we called it, prize giving. So
We'll
yeah, you
spell
can do that. Sign up on
consistent
the website.
properly this
Yeah,
time.
yeah, we'll
So.
get the trophy.
Consistent.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. So that's how we're going to keep people moving, and you can do that anywhere in New Zealand. You don't have to be in Christchurch. You can sign up if you're anywhere.
Yeah.
We've got heaps of people from everywhere.
Yeah.
Sign up.
And
So
if you can't make it to the party, then we'll ship you out your wee prize pack.
yep. Hey, and even if you don't reach your goal, you still get a prize pack. Because every motherfucker gets a ribbon.
Everyone gets a medal.
Cancelled.
You'll get a medal.
Everyone
You'll
gets a
get a
medal.
medal.
You get it.
Literally. Yeah.
So good. All right. Well, I'm gonna go eat some food because it's like 9 o'clock.
Yeah. You do that, man.
It's
P-
lunchtime
PM.
here, so yeah.
You
Yeah.
guys go do that.
Yeah.
It's nice to see you guys. I kind of miss you. I got like withdrawals from not being in the shop.
We're having so much fun. Just joking.
Yeah, as long as you sell some stuff so I can pay you next week. That'll be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, team.
Okay.
We'll catch you soon.
Eat your veggies.
Bye.